I think I stopped counting the lawsuits against P. Diddy when they reached upwards of about 20. I am referring, of course, to the suits accusing Sean Diddy Combs of some form of sexual abuse. But now we have another one tonight because just yesterday, a photographer filed a suit in New York alleging a sex crime that he says occurred in 2022 or 2023, and Team Diddy is denying it. His lawyers tell TMZ, and I quote, "No matter how many lawsuits are filed, especially by individuals who refuse to put their own names behind their claims, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or sex trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor." Of course, all of those lawsuits, no matter how serious, they take a backseat to the criminal charges, federal ones, for which Diddy is still due to stand trial in early May. The feds accused Diddy of racketeering and using threats and coercion to engage in sex trafficking. But is a jury going to buy it? TMZ's Harvey Levin wondered the very same thing. So he put together a mock jury and he gave them the case. And the results are pretty jaw-dropping. The project is called TMZ Presents: The Downfall of Diddy, the Defense. And it just dropped today on Tubi. Take a look.
But the coercion piece is, somebody mentioned about, people wanting their career to blow up or whatever. That's coercion. I mean, it's different modes of coercion. And whether or not, you shouldn't make that choice, you did make a choice, but it's coercion.
That has nothing to do with sex trafficking and prostituting.
No, but
for the purpose of a commercial sex addict.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't see the coercion part.
You know?
Oh, no.
Because if, he willingly did it and then the person willingly accepted, I don't...
I think one thing that I haven't heard said at this table yet is bribery. So he probably promised a lot of these people either fame, fortune, riches. Whether or not he delivered, I doubt it.
So, of course, they got the case that we know now, but we don't know what's coming, right? I spoke with Harvey Levin about all of this, and here is our conversation. Harvey, what a fascinating experience, this sort of a social science experiment on the Diddy case, putting the mock jury, together. Give me your overall reaction to what you saw.
I was stunned. I wasn't sure. We showed them the prosecution's case in broad strokes, and we showed them the defense's case because our new documentary is The Downfall of Diddy, His Defense. So we showed them both. And then we asked them to deliberate. It is a diverse group, and I wasn't sure how they were going to dig in to the 3 counts against Diddy. We're talking about racketeering, sex trafficking, and the Mann Act. And I wasn't sure if they'd grasp it, if they'd understand it. And I'm telling you, Ashleigh, they drilled down and they hit big issues. And if you think, as many people do, because of what they've heard, that this is going to be a slam dunk for prosecutors, if you look at this mock jury, it's not. It is not. They had all sorts of questions. Questions about consent, that the 3 alleged victims here are ex-girlfriends. And there were some jurors who were raising the issue. How can you show coercion or duress when somebody is in a long-term relationship with him? We raise issues, or they raised issues about the racketeering charge, which requires proof of a profit. And there were jurors who were really questioning, what kind of profit did Diddy make off of all of this? So they really got into it, and they end up voting. And I'm not going to reveal the vote, but it is super interesting.
Well, so what I'm always fascinated in is when I see mock juries coming up with these thoughts, it's, this is the fly on the wall. You want to see what their thought process is with the evidence they have. And that's the key, I think, at this point. I think prosecutors have held a lot of cards because you and I both know that federal prosecutors almost never charge a case unless they know they're going to win it. And they have, like a 95% success rate. What does that tell you about this?
Well, you're right about that. A couple of things. One is, as some of the people we talked to said, This is the best time for a lawyer to defend somebody in a federal prosecution because the Justice Department has been under attack by both sides. You know, Joe Biden attacked it for Hunter Biden. Trump attacked it for himself. But everybody is going after the Justice Department, trying to delegitimize it. And, you know, that resonates with some jurors. So if there, in terms of timing, with that out in the air, that may actually help the defense. The other thing that we know they're going to raise, because I spoke with Diddy's lawyer in this documentary, is race. And Ashleigh, you and I both covered O.J. Simpson. And I remember clearly Johnny Cochran saying in court, race plays a part of everything in America. The defense believes that this prosecution is actually designed as a takedown, as they put it, of a successful black man. The mock jury, unprompted, brought up issues of race. I'll give you one preview that one of the jurors, a black juror, said there are probably 100 white dudes in Los Angeles who are doing exactly what Diddy is charged with, who haven't been charged. So, yeah, you're right about the 95%, but the timing issue and the racial issue could really have some impact.
Diddy has done a lot while in the federal lockup to try, as prosecutors say, to taint the jury, to do things to show he's a loving family man, to send out I don't know if it was his intention, but Kanye, you know, recorded a FaceTime or at least a phone call on camera with Diddy in lockup that made them look like, you know, I don't know, great business partners and a wonderful mentor, et cetera. A lot of that has to do with getting that kind of an image out to the public before they pick a jury. Do you think it's going to actually work?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I can tell you what I know, which is Diddy did not know he was being recorded and was upset that Kanye did it. So it wasn't at Diddy's behest or even with his knowledge that this was recorded and put out. That's number one. Number two, Ashleigh, you and I both know the idea of tainting a jury, you know, certainly, you know, tainting a jury by showing you're a family man, that doesn't taint a jury. I mean, we both covered the O.J. Simpson case. How many thousands of hours did the media spend showing he killed Ron and Nicole? Yet, that jury found him not guilty. So if ever there were a case to taint a jury, it was going to be O.J. Simpson, and it didn't work. So the idea of saying, oh, you're tainting a jury because you're talking about your family, I think is kind of ridiculous.
He does say in that tape that he believes he's going to get out of this. He thinks that he's got a strong case. How is the defense spinning that? Are they keeping their cards close to the vest? Why this optimism?
Well, look, I mean, they think that they have, and you'll see this in the documentary, on the issue of consent, they think they can score a lot of points, that they believe they can show these women consented to the freak-offs, and that there was no coercion, and, you know, race is an issue. The elements of the crime, for which I mentioned, you know, how do you show profit in this racketeering? How did he make money off these freak-offs? It doesn't really, no, that's a tough one. So they, and they think that, you know, because Cassie, who is, you know, really the star witness here, that she initially did not go to authorities, she went to a lawyer and filed a civil lawsuit. They're going to make hay of that on cross-examination.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.